Alrighty, good morning, Arkansas. This is Assistant Chief Forecaster Kevin back here once again. I'm here to give you guys your weather forecast update for today here. So, first and foremost here, not much going on across Arkansas at this point. We got a lot, and I mean a lot, to talk about this morning here in terms of the middle to late part of this upcoming work week here, guys. I'm gonna have more information on that on the page later on. I'm just gonna give you guys a little bit of the details in this video here. So, first and foremost here, here's current radar at this point. As I talked about before, compared to last night when we had that cluster come through central Arkansas, not much is going on across Arkansas. We got some showers across northeastern Arkansas this time. Got a few hit and miss showers across central Arkansas here, but nothing significant going on across the board here. We're not expecting too much in the way of shower and thunderstorm activity as we progress into the afternoon and into the evening hours of today here. So, with that being said, let's go and talk about temperatures real quickly here. Now, the one thing I want to stress with temperatures is temperatures are going to be what we call below normal for this time of the year. Typically, we're in the upper 90s, low 100s, and overnight lows in the upper 70s, even in some cases low 80s here. But we're not going to be seeing that over the next couple of days because of the fact of cloud cover, shower, thunderstorm activity, and also this front. So current temperatures right now, 75 in Mount Home. I'm going to go ahead and overlay this with dew points as well. So a comfortable 75 degrees up there in Mount Home right now, 73 in Jonesboro, 73 in Jasper, 79 in Fayetteville at this point, 77 in near Clinton, 75 in Little Rock right now, 81 in Russellville, 79 in Fort Smith, 73 in Mena, 82 in Camden, 79 in El Dorado, 82 in Texarkana right now. That is south of the boundary. Also 73 in Memphis and 77 up there towards Piggott at this current time. So dew points in northern Arkansas, and I know you're waking up this morning or you already gotten up and you're experiencing this drier air up here. So dew points up here, upper 50s to low to mid 60s here. Western Arkansas, the River Valley region, about upper 60s, low 70s. Just south of the metro here, we got dew points in the 70s as well. So still muggy across much of central and south Arkansas and western Arkansas, but some of that dry air may be trying to mix its way down into central Arkansas and western Arkansas as it gets towards later this afternoon into this evening here. Southern Arkansas, right now, we're not expecting it to make it that far south because of the fact that the front boundary is going to kind of stall out across southern Arkansas. But you guys may see some rain chances down there as we get towards this afternoon and into this evening here. Now, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the middle to late part of this upcoming week here. And this is going to rely on three weather features: a subtropical ridge, a cold front, a new cold front is going to push down. This one's going to go away. This one's going to fade away. And a new one's going to move down into Arkansas as we get towards the middle and late part of the week. And also Tropical Storm Grace. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the tropics here. So we're going to be tracking the tropics here. And first and foremost, I'm going to talk about Fred first before we get into Grace here. So Fred right now is what we call an eastern loaded tropical storm here. Regained its tropical storm status over the last couple of hours here, sitting around 40 miles per hour. And you can see its circulation here. I'm going to go over to my visible satellite imagery real quick. This is what I mean about being easterly loaded here. So the western side here, and I can even put it on water vapor imagery. Water vapor imagery is telling the bigger story. So the western side of this system is completely dominated by wind shear and upper level wind shear and dry air. So if you're on the western side of this system, you may not be seeing a drop at all. On the eastern side is where the tropical storm conditions are going to be. 40 miles per hour, maybe some higher gusts, heavy rainfall, the potential tornadoes as well. So that's something that we're going to continue to monitor here. If you have any interest along the Florida Panhandle, I would go ahead and make, and I wouldn't say evacuate, but I would go ahead and make plans around this tropical storm here. We're sitting at about 40 miles per hour. By the time it makes landfall, it should be around a 50 mile per hour tropical storm here. So you will have to watch out for the potential of increased rainfall chances here, potential flash flooding, also the potential of tropical tornadoes here from Florida up towards Alabama to Georgia as well. And also, we're not too concerned about storm surge. However, if that changes, we'll let you guys know here. But with that being said here, something to just keep an eye on here along the Florida Panhandle. If you have any interest, you may be considering rescheduling, etc. here. So, tropical storm warning for the Florida Panhandle. Also, tropical storm watch over here towards the Alabama coast as well here. However, this is not the one that's going to affect Arkansas. This system will remain east of Arkansas at this point. let's go ahead and talk about Grace, because you can see the track all the way from Puerto Rico over towards the Central Gulf Coast, all the way now to Louisiana. Louisiana is in the track at this point here, and I wouldn't be shocked, I would say, by the end of the day, if the track looked like this. Okay, to include much of Louisiana, Texas, even Mexico at this point. So we'll have to wait and see what happens here. And I even wouldn't be shocked if the track kind of looks something like this over the next. I would say over the next couple of days here, if the cold front continues to make its trends here. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. So what's the setup going to be? Okay. We're going to be looking at a new cold front that's going to be pushing down into Arkansas, as well as going to attempt to make its way to Arkansas as we get towards next weekend, as an upper-level trough moves to the northwestern portions of the country. Southeast Ridge is going to push this system west, okay? So the question remains is, are we going to see these what we call the Sahorn Ridge or the Western Ridge build east in time to completely block off Grace? Because if that happens, Grace is going straight into South Texas and into Mexico. It'll be a Mexico-Texas storm. We won't have to deal with it here in Arkansas. Temperatures will be above normal, and we'll be back to where we're supposed to be for this time of year for August standards. However, if the cold front outpaces the Western Ridge, what's going to happen is this. And I can draw this out for you guys real quickly here. So cold front creates weakness between the ridge. Excuse my drawing here. Give me 1 second. All right. So what happens with this one is the cold front here makes a weakness between the southwest ridge and the southeast ridge here. So you got a subtropical ridge here, and you got a western ridge out here. So the cold front makes a weakness through this point here. I'm gonna draw this out. So there's the weakness between the two, and let's say you got a tropical system down here. Okay. What happens is, if it's we're looking at about a 65 mile per hour tropical storm by this point. If it's a pretty decent strength tropical storm, what's going to happen is it's going to feel the influence of that trough/cold front, and it's going to move in a northerly to northwest direction, and then it's going to eventually move to the north and east here. So what would end up happening is, yes, it would deflect the cold front from making it down here. However, we will be dealing with a tropical storm by that point. So that's something that we're going to monitor at this point. Now, I want to stress, by this time, there's a lot of uncertainty here, because what could end up happening is the Western Ridge completely outpaces the front, and it completely makes a double-barreled ridge across the area here. So there's your Southeast Ridge here, and then there's your ridge out here. So it makes a double-barreled ridge, and then what ends up happening is whatever happens with Grace down here in the Gulf of Mexico, it moves due west at that point. And it goes straight into South Texas and into Mexico, and it completely misses us here in Arkansas. So that's something that is being the uncertainty part with Grace by this time here. What does the upper level pattern look like as we get towards next weekend? This is why we stress so much about cold fronts and high pressures and upper level features and stuff like that, because they can make a big difference whenever you're talking about tropics here. So that's the uncertainty right now. If that happens, and I want to stress, and this is why I'm kind of not looking forward to forecast this evening here, because we're going to have to look at next weekend. If the first scenario happens and it makes it into Louisiana and Arkansas, rain chances go up. Also, we would be talking about the potential of tropical impacts here in Arkansas. We're talking 35 to 40 mile per hour winds, potential isolated tropical tornadoes, etc. So that's something that we're going to monitor. Right now, I would not bank on that scenario. Okay, I know we need the rainfall here in Arkansas, etc., but I would not bank on that particular scenario, because of the fact that we do not know if the ridge is going to build in quick enough to outpace the front at the time. Our front's going to be our saving grace. If it makes it down to at least Missouri, we're talking it has to get down to Missouri, what's going to happen is it's going to create a weakness between the two ridges, and it's going to allow the system to move into that weakness, which would be in Louisiana and which would be in Arkansas, similar to what happened with Laura last year. Moved right between the weakness between the two ridges, went through Louisiana, went through Arkansas, and then out into the Ohio Valley. So that's something that we're going to continue to monitor over the next couple of days here. So with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about your weather highlights for today here, guys. Excuse me. And here's your weather highlights for today. Here's some slightly cooler and drier air will move down into Arkansas, especially north and central Arkansas later today and into this evening here. Limited rainfall chances over the next couple of days here, guys. Unless you are south of that boundary, you're not going to see a whole lot of rainfall over the next couple of days here with this cold front. Because cold front's going to move north, but it's going to wash out at the same time. And as said before, by the next weekend, we're looking at the potential of that second front and a very interesting weather pattern. As we get towards next weekend, we'll keep you guys updated on all the details on that. So here's your morning regional outlook for today. Here, guys, 20% chance of rain for much of Arkansas unless you are south of that boundary, which includes southeast Arkansas, southwest, and south central Arkansas. Temperatures upper 80s, low 90s, not bad for this time of the year. Little cooler and it's going to feel a little comfortable, especially in North Arkansas. Still going to feel relatively muggy across Central and South Arkansas. Overnight lows in the upper 60s, low 70s here. So we'll continue to keep you guys updated right here in your source for all things Arkansas weather.